Welcome back to the Relaxing Ghost channel here on YouTube. As always, your host with the most, Ghost. Today we have another WWE DVD collection video, and this is gonna be the ultimate WrestleMania VHS, DVD, and Blu-ray collection video. So get ready, guys. Strap in for the ride. This is going to be a big one. Because today we got, 38 WrestleManias to go through. We are, end to end on the shelf here with DVDs and VHS, and we got a couple of friends up here. That's right. So first up, we are going to be covering the Legacy set, and I do not have the collection WrestleMania collection VHS set, which I've honestly thought about getting. It's just it's more of a space issue. Maybe eventually that's something I can check off, but it's pretty much the same thing. With the Legacy box set here, you have WrestleManias 1 through 15 on VHS complete. So yeah, let's get into this, guys. And if you're familiar with the DVD sets, there's a couple variants. If you know, there's the original release, which is 1 through 20, and then I believe they released for the next couple years, which included WrestleManias 20, 21, and 22. And then there's also the WrestleMania Leather Edition, autographed by Vince McMahon himself. That's right. Limited to 1,000 copies. And if rumors are true, it's like the first 50 to 100 are not signed either. So that's a story I've heard, because they were given out to employees and things like that. So that might be something, if anyone knows or can confirm. So for me, I have WrestleManias 1 through 18 on VHS tape. I did sell, unfortunately, WrestleMania 19 VHS tape, but I still have, I think, 3 or 4 copies of the DVD set. So it's no worries. So let's get into this, guys. Thank you all for watching. Let's take a look at WrestleMania 1. So we start off with WrestleMania 1, of course, 1985, Madison Square Garden. The thing I like about these Legacy VHS tapes, unfortunately, I do not have any original, clamshell Coliseum videos, but I think these are just as good. You have the, same footage as it would be on the DVD set. Maybe there might be minor clips edited or whatnot, but yeah, WrestleMania 1, to me, it's a pretty important day for the WWE, regardless of if the event was good, bad, or your opinion of the show. It was really a step into the mainstream audience with Mr. T, Cyndi Lauper, and all the glitz and glamour of WrestleMania. So I love how they included the original logo and whatnot. Hulk Hogan in blue trunks is a rare occurrence. But yeah, this one featured Andre the Giant in a $15,000 body slam challenge with Big John Studd, Mr. T and Hulk Hogan versus Paul Orndorff and Roddy Piper. So very cool event. WrestleMania 2, the only WrestleMania to be featured in 3 separate locations from April of '86. Of course, the famous Hogan Bundy in the cage, you know, the rise of Macho Man Randy Savage, and a huge battle royal featuring NFL football players and the Hart Foundation, Andre the Giant. Absolutely incredible. So yeah, this was featured in LA, Chicago, and the New York Nassau Coliseum, not from Long Island, New York. Oh, pretty cool show. Probably the top 5 greatest WrestleManias of all time. WrestleMania 3 from the Pontiac Silverdome. A record of 93,000 fans in attendance. That's right. Which featured Hogan and Andre for the WWF Championship. The thing that's weird about this legacy set here is that I'm pretty sure they just recycled these old collection tapes like I mentioned earlier, and yeah, just kind of repackaged, added the next WrestleMania, or the next couple of WrestleManias that weren't included. So I believe that would be, what, 13, 14, 15? Yeah. So yeah, you got the Bulldogs and the Hart Foundation, Savage and Steamboat in the instant classic there, and then Hogan and Andre. WrestleMania 4. I always found it odd that this was the cover. But this was the Macho Man's night, competing in 4 matches, winning the championship in the tournament. Strikeforce and Demolition. We had the Jake the Snake and Rick Rude, and another classic. This was a pretty good show, and I think it gets a lot of bad rep because of the tournament style to it, but a pretty good show. Demolition was, you know, on a run, and this is a really good WrestleMania. You know, probably not my favorite, but you know, it's worth going back and watching. WrestleMania 5, the Mega Powers Explode. Another one of my top 5 favorite WrestleManias. And you might hear that more than 5 times in this video. The Mega Powers Explode. Macho Man Randy Savage versus the Incredible Hulk Hogan. Man, this was absolutely intensity at a 12. You know, the famous Piper's Pit there with, is it Downey or... Morton Downey Jr. And then, yeah, I always confuse him with another guy, but yeah, the Warrior and Rick Rude match, really good stuff here. I believe you also, yeah, Demolition also retained their tag titles in a handicap match with Warlord, Barbarian, and Fuji. Pretty cool WrestleMania, man. Definitely check out WrestleMania 5 with the Mega Powers Explode. Heading out to Skydome with the Ultimate Challenge. Again, really cool. You know, I still like how they really kept these WrestleMania logos for so long. The classic logo. This was, of course, Skydome, Toronto, Canada. champion versus champion, title for title. You had the Macho King by this point, Akeem versus the Big Boss Man. Yeah, it was Dusty and Sapphire versus Savage and Sherry. And an absolutely electric night. WrestleMania 7, probably one of the more underrated WrestleManias. With Slaughter and Hogan. Hogan looking for redemption, which was again in LA Sports Arena. Initially supposed to be in the stadium, but due to threats and whatnot, it was moved. I still don't really buy that. One of my all-time favorite matches, though, Savage and Warrior. Looks like Mr. Perfect and Big Boss Man. And then The Undertaker making his debut in a Phenom versus Jimmy Superfly Snuka. You also had the Rockers in action. Shawn Michaels, very young. I believe Shawn Michaels debuted at WrestleMania 5 as well. WrestleMania 8. I don't know what it is with this show, but it's honestly one of my favorites. Savage and Flair. I think if you watch it up to that point, you can call it a 5-star show, but after that, Hogan and Sid definitely under-delivered. The return of the Ultimate Warrior, Taker and Jake Roberts. We had a awesome stadium feel in the Hoosier Dome, and Bret Hart and Roddy Piper for the Intercontinental Championship, and Shawn Michaels beginning his solo career in style. Another one of my personal favorites, WrestleMania 9. From Caesars Palace, Las Vegas, Nevada. I think I just really like the outdoor feel to the show. But 1993 was not one of the WWE's best years. We had Shawn Michaels on the rise versus Tatanka, Bret Hart and Yokozuna. The first time the WWE Championship changed hands twice in a night, with Hogan challenging Yokozuna immediately after. And, Hogan wouldn't be in WWE much longer. You also had Undertaker and Giant Gonzalez. Probably one of the worst WrestleMania matches of all time. But I don't know what it is with this pay-per-view. It's Bobby Heenan, Bret Hart, all kind of cool stuff. Just really enjoyable show. Then we have another top 5 WrestleMania of all time. 10 years in the making. It's WrestleMania 10. I absolutely love that classic logo. The little curve to it, the gold. I honestly like how they were doing the Roman numerals. Featuring not one, but 2 instant classics here. One of the first ladder matches in WWE history. Shawn Michaels and Razor Ramon. Rest in peace, big man. Classic match for the Intercontinental Championship. And then Owen Hart, Bret Hart in one of the greatest opening matches in history. Another WrestleMania, back-to-back years where the title was defended twice in a night. This time Yoko retains against Luger after a shady referee from Mr. Perfect. And then Bret Hart regains the title again from crooked referee Roddy Piper. And those guys went way back, their classic match a couple years back, WrestleMania 8. So this was really the end of Yokozuna's big run in the wrestling world. I don't think he ever really recovered after this loss, and he was getting bigger and bigger, and was out of shape by a year or two later. So it sucks, man. Yokozuna was a legend. Then we get to WrestleMania 11, 1995. Probably one of the worst years in Federation history, entertainment, WWE history, whatever you want to call it. Yeah, not the best pay-per-view at all. Not the best WrestleMania by any stretch. LT and Bam Bam in the main event. Shawn Michaels and Diesel had a very good match. Razor and Jeff Jarrett. But other than that, this is, not a good WrestleMania. Not sure what it is. Hartford Civic Center, kind of a letdown. WrestleMania 11. Let me get to another one of my personal favorites, WrestleMania 12 from 1996. This would be the last WrestleMania for a couple of guys here. Shawn Michaels and Bret Hart going out and having that Iron Man match, of course. Big Man, Big Daddy Cool Diesel, Undertaker, very good match. Despite this WrestleMania having the Iron Man match, I feel like the undercard was loaded. Holy smokes. We had the Hollywood Backlot Brawl, Stone Cold Steve Austin and Savio Vega, Undertaker and Diesel. Yeah, very good WrestleMania. The Iron Man match, a bit underwhelming. I always said it should have had more than a fall to it, because the finish really gave it away when they went 60 and there was no falls. Interesting concept for the time, but I think people were just really looking at the clock and then, gaining excitement as the match went on, compared to using the clock to their advantage and, buying those falls. It could have been 1-1 after an hour, and they could have still had the same finish. But I think they kind of stretched it too thin at points. Still a very good show. Another controversial WrestleMania, WrestleMania 13. WrestleMania Heat. Yes, the Sunday Night Heat version of WrestleMania. This would be, of course, Undertaker's big night, winning the title against Psycho Sid at this point in time. You also had The Rock and the Sultan, Stone Cold Steve Austin. Happy birthday to Stone Cold Steve Austin. And Bret the Hitman Hart having one of the best submission matches of all time. One of the best WrestleMania matches of all time. One of the best matches, period. This also featured Windy City's own Legion of Doom and Ahmed Johnson against the Nation of Domination. Yeah, you had like a big 6-man tag which featured Vader, Mankind, Owen Hart, the Bulldog, I believe, a couple of others. It was a very strange time period for the WWE. The transition from the new generation to the Attitude Era is really strange when you look at some of the characters and some of the personalities on screen. It's like they were still stuck in the 80s while others were, current day evolved. It's a strange period. WrestleMania 14. One of the best WrestleManias of all time. My tape is damaged, but never fear, Ghost is here. I got a backup copy, and that is in the Classic 5 of 1998. This is still a good copy. It still works good. But this featured Austin, Tyson, and Shawn Michaels in a decent match. Obviously, this was Shawn's last match for 4.5 years. He wouldn't return until, middle of 2002, competing at SummerSlam versus Triple H. So Shawn Michaels had a bad back, and he put on a hell of a match regardless of that injury. And he let all that weight off his shoulders, and he went home for 4.5 years. The undercard to this pay-per-view is incredible, with Taker and Kane, Triple H versus Owen, The Rock and Ken Shamrock. It's just fully loaded WrestleMania. Honestly, if you could go back in time to any WrestleMania, it'd probably be here. The dumpster match for the tag titles. And then WrestleMania 15, the Raging Climax. You got the Big Show, Sable, Rock, Triple H, Austin, Mankind, and The Undertaker. So yeah, this is where they start changing the covers, obviously. So yeah, 13 had the collection on it, but 14, it's like just the original copy. And I believe 15... Yeah, 15 just had that. So yeah, 15, not the greatest WrestleMania, but Austin and Rock putting it down. This featured a Hell in a Cell match. You got Sable and Tori, Mankind and the Big Show, Triple H and Kane, Shane McMahon and X-Pac. Crazy WrestleMania. So just a quick comparison of the VHS to the recent UK release. Yeah, Sable was on the original cover. I know there was some debate about that. Kane was not. They replaced Kane with Big Show, and Sable remained. I know there's alternate covers, like the DVD set is a little bit different, but Sable was on the original cover. So that wraps up the legacy portion of this video. Let's get into the final few VHS tapes. We got the best of WrestleManias 1 through 14 and 1 through 15. This is a pay-per-view exclusive from Jakks Pacific. I love that green logo, the green swoosh. But I think they feature a lot of the same. Love how they show all the original poster artworks. Very similar to what I just showed you. There we go. And yeah, this originally came with my Legacy box set. It did not include one WrestleMania, which I had to go buy single. And then, yeah, this is a Jakks Pacific toy figure company. I believe during WrestleMania 2000, there was a all-day WrestleMania. So I think this is clips and whatnot from that, or it's a retread of this. Haven't had the time to check this out, but it's an interesting release. Getting into some of the big boys now. WrestleMania 16, 2000. One of my favorites, my personal favorite. Top 5 for me. So there's the 2000 tape. Honestly, a hell of a fun show. And look at that match listing. Pretty much end to top to bottom, bottom to top. 3.5 hours. With the Four Corners elimination match, the Triangle ladder match, first ever two-fall triple threat match for the IC and European Championships, 13-man hardcore battle royal, catfight. Kane and Rikishi versus X-Pac and Road Dogg, TNA versus Al Snow and Blackman. This show was just absolutely loaded. Again, I just love that green swoosh mark, check mark, whatever they call it. Then probably the greatest WrestleMania of all time. WrestleMania 17, Houston. We have a problem. 4-hour WrestleMania this year. This one went on past midnight on the Eastern time zone. Classic matches with Austin and Rock, the street fight with the McMahons, Triple H and The Undertaker. We had the TLC 2, Chris Benoit and Kurt Angle, the Gimmick Battle Royal, the Intercontinental title match, the Hardcore title match. This was just another loaded show from the from the Astrodome, excuse me. Man, what a classic WrestleMania. I just love that blue and gold. Absolutely classic WrestleMania. Yeah, if you notice, look at the home video logos. From 2000 to 2001, they actually changed. So they had like a blue home video type of logo, and then we go on to the home video logo we have today, which went to the, the scratch logo, to the network logo. Oh, yeah. And then WrestleMania 18, another one of my top 5 favorites. Is it an all-time WrestleMania? I'm not sure. But this was another classic from the Skydome in Toronto. And, again, I just love that, kind of purple and gold type logo. X8, as they called it. The one and only Icon versus Icon. 4-hour show. So this is, the WrestleMania 4-hour era, which I believe is the perfect length for a pay-per-view. Probably not the greatest main event of all time, but it, still up there for me. Jericho and Triple H. RVD and Regal. Angle and Kane. Edge and Booker T. Ric Flair and The Undertaker. You also had Hogan and Rock. Austin and Scott Hall. Very, very good show. All right, it is now time for the WrestleMania DVD collection. Now, I am missing a few of the re-released WrestleManias that were from, I think 2013 or so. But yeah, we're going to show WrestleMania 15 first. So yeah, this was the first ever WWF DVD released. As you see there, WWF 1001. Not going to go through everything here. I do have every WrestleMania reviewed on the channel. So look in the playlist section and look for WrestleMania DVD reviews. So yeah, we're going to go in order anyway from the earliest I have, which is WrestleMania 3. This is the Championship Edition. And I actually really enjoyed this set. It's a huge match listing, again, from top to bottom. No artwork at all. Pretty cool 2-disc set, which features a kind of, standard edition as well as the Championship Edition. Tons of extras here from Wrestling Challenge and Superstars, Saturday Night's Main Event, and things like this. Again, we got the top 5 WrestleMania of all time, WrestleMania 10. This is one of the couple that I have. So there's no artwork to these. I'm guessing these were just extra copies of the Anthology they had. Put them in a fancy case and charge you $20 a piece for them. So yeah, we got the ladder match artwork and things like that. And we got WrestleMania 14 as well. One of my favorites. So yeah, then we're going to take a look at the UK release. So yeah, there's the WrestleMania 14 from the UK, which was released, I think, last year. So yeah, but I think same back. Pretty much the same backing. Text and things like that may be different, but pretty much the same thing. Then I just showed 15, but we'll show them side by side again. DVD to DVD. So the thing that really kind of peed me off there with these UK releases is they released them, and I only bought a few of them. And I specifically only bought the ones from the pretty much Attitude era. And then they released a WrestleMania Attitude collection after that. Wow. I would have probably just bought that. But I do enjoy, having the, separate cases, separate artwork. WrestleMania 2000, definitely a huge step down with the cover. So this is a 2-disc set, but honestly, you're probably missing out on tons of bonus content. I'm pretty sure these just feature the events themselves, no extras, nothing. So yeah, they added a 16 to it, which just looks hideous. So you got no Big Show, no Triple H, a weird shot of Cactus Jack and The Rock, and then no Taz. Or this set looks bare for some reason. Like, there's definitely stuff missing. Shots of the spines. Yeah, it just looks so weird with the home video logos. And even after like a decade later, they still did not change this. This is that WrestleMania 15 re-release, and the spine is still incorrect. Who's that? That's Shawn Michaels and Bret Hart. That's from that Iron Man match at WrestleMania 12. Why is that on WrestleMania 15? A decade later, and they didn't fix it. Come on, guys, we can do better than that. WrestleMania 7, Houston, we have another problem. So yeah, nothing's going to beat that set. I think they did a decent job with the re-release. The one thing I don't like is these bumper stickers on covers. The home video logo, Fremantle, I think is fine, but all this other stuff should be on the back. Decent spine, again, never going to recreate the original perfectly, but I think they did it fairly justice. So WrestleMania 17 DVD, of course, the holy grail of DVD collecting with that insert, 2-disc set. And honestly, I'm not even sure if I'm ever going to open those UK DVDs because, I have the original copies, as you can see here. Check it out, guys. Man, would it be that hard to supply an insert with DVDs today. Of course, 2 more here from the re-release section. WrestleMania 18, one of my all-time favorites, like I mentioned. Hogan vs. Rock, Icon vs. Icon. Looks like they changed that yellow up a bit to make it more pop a little bit. Pretty much the same back. It does list extras. Maybe the extras are all on here, or some of them anyway. So WrestleMania 17 also includes a few extras. Not sure about 16. That's an interesting thing to, if anyone has opened these. I think I'm just going to leave them sealed, though. Yeah, WrestleMania 18, another fantastic 2-disc set. If starting with 16, they became 2-disc events when they reached 4 hours or more. This one came with an Icon vs. Icon poster. WWE was having, really good DVD sets in the early 2000s. Cool posters and things like that. So, huge match listing and extras, and you got Bite This with Mr. McMahon. And then WrestleMania 19, the first WWE WrestleMania. So Hogan and McMahon heading the cover. Absolutely beautiful logo. that silver, blue. Then we got the re-released version here. It does say it has 2 hours of DVD extras there. Pretty much all the same listings there. Goldberg's debut and things like that. But yeah, this is considered to be one of the greatest WrestleManias of all time. And I would not argue there. With Lesnar and Angle main eventing the trilogy of Austin and Rock, Jericho and Shawn Michaels, Triple H and Booker T, fantastic triple threat with the ladies, triple threat tag title match, Hogan and McMahon, Matt Hardy and Rey Mysterio for the Cruiserweight title. It's an epic, pretty epic WrestleMania. Those last 4 or 5 matches are just banger after banger. So I did include the WWE Hall of Fame DVD set here, which occurred WrestleMania 20 weekend. And there are rumors, I believe, that I think Hogan was supposed to go in around this time. But this is the, one of my all-time favorite DVD sets. And going on prior to the 20th WrestleMania, it's absolutely classic. With Harley Race, Bobby Heenan, Superstar Billy Graham, Jesse Ventura, some all-time legends of the game. WrestleMania 20. WrestleMania 20, I actually have, I think, the most copies of this. I have 4 variants. Here we have the cheapo case, the stacked discs. We have the Digipack. And this one featured, all the fantastic matches of the Ruthless Aggression era, Eddie Guerrero, Kurt Angle, Undertaker versus Kane, Benoit, Shawn Michaels, Triple H in the main event. Absolutely epic. John Cena and the Big Show. We have this, I'm not sure if this is limited or special edition or what it's dubbed. Yeah, honestly, this is how a WrestleMania DVD set should be. Hard, thick cardboard. Look how thick that is. This is quality. Featuring, tons and tons of extras. You also had Jericho and Christian. The Rock and Sock versus Evolution. This also features the 10 greatest WrestleMania matches ever. So pretty cool. Yeah, that's 3. And this is like a very shiny material. 4th one's, I gotta go way up here. 4th one's still a bit sealed though. I don't think I can risk opening this. Yeah, this is the 4th one. This is a WrestleMania DVD, isn't it? WrestleMania 20. What's that say? Free Raw Homecoming attached. That's right. WrestleMania 20 was released with the Raw Homecoming. That is absolutely incredible. I have no plans of opening this. Yeah. Very, very rare piece in my collection. And then, of course, you have the WrestleMania 20s, which are in the anthologies. So, yeah, that's about 6 copies. I think I'm good on WrestleMania 20. WrestleMania 21, probably another underrated event, but this is one of the more, man, how do you word this? Kind of, it's a show that really changed the way of WWE, really shaped how WWE would be. It's a more historical event. You made 3 guys in a night with Cena, Edge and Batista. You are securing your future. Got JBL, Triple H, Evolution, Shawn Michaels. Very, very cool set. This is how DVDs should be. And it included the Hall of Fame for the first time. Awesome set. But I also have another copy of this. So here is my autographed WrestleMania 21 DVD set, which I bought off eBay. Got Shawn Michaels, Batista, Triple H, The Game, JBL, John Cena, and Kurt Angle. This is not 100% authenticated, but I can verify at least 3 or 4 100%. You know, I paid good money, so I trust the source, but I do keep this pretty tight locked up. WrestleMania 22, another pretty underrated WrestleMania from Chicago. Yeah, I think I also forgot to mention Edge. He won Money in the Bank. Shawn Michaels, Kurt Angle, Piper's Pit with Stone Cold. Very good show. Triple H and Batista. Very good show. WrestleMania 21. WrestleMania 22, pretty good show as well. You know, this is what really made Money in the Bank, was WrestleMania. You had Cena and Triple H, Rey Mysterio winning the world title in memory of Eddie Guerrero, who passed away the few months prior. And again, the Hall of Fame with Bret Hart. Still believe Hall of Fame should be with the WrestleManias. There's no reason why it shouldn't be, unless it's on its own set. So yeah, we're into the second half now. We got WrestleMania 23 from Detroit, Michigan, Ford Field. Another very good WrestleMania. This was the era of very good WrestleManias. You could probably go back to WrestleMania 17 and just check. 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, not so much. But man, were they on a roll during this time period for a good, 5-year stretch. WrestleMania 23 also released in the Ultimate Limited tin. This also has a 2-disc set, which I do not have. But Chris Benoit, U.S. champion. Very cool spot in the TLC. Got Mr. Kennedy winning Money in the Bank. Undertaker versus Batista for the World Championship. Shawn Michaels and John Cena for the WWE title. Pretty good show overall. Includes 5 hours of bonus content with the Hall of Fame ceremony. My personal favorite ceremony with Dusty Rhodes. So yeah, there's not much to this tin, but it looks pretty cool. You got Cena, Batista, and Lashley on the back. Also Benoit, Shawn Michaels, Taker, Edge. Inside I keep my Owen Heart of Gold DVD. Next up with WrestleMania 24. Another very good WrestleMania. Featuring Ric Flair versus Shawn Michaels the night after Ric Flair was inducted into the Hall of Fame. This one also came out with a very cool tin from the Sunshine State of Orlando, from the Citrus Bowl. One of my more favorite WrestleManias is, WrestleMania 24. You also had Batista and Umaga, Edge and The Undertaker, Orton, Triple H, and Cena in the Triple Threat title match. Mayweather and The Big Show. This was a very good WrestleMania. So I just absolutely love that set. Next up, we got WrestleMania 25. A couple of variants here. So I do not have the 24 Blu-ray, which was WWE's first Blu-ray. WrestleMania 25, we got the Blu-ray. We have the Steelbook, FYE exclusive, as well as the 3-disc DVD set, which includes a bonus mini book. So yeah, this was not a good show. Yeah, pretty cool Steelbook here. Does have an insert, does have a match listing. You had Matt Hardy versus Jeff Hardy. JBL versus Rey Mysterio for the IC title. Triple H versus Randy Orton. On Undertaker and Shawn Michaels in one of the greatest matches of all time. Jericho and the Legends. You had Austin going into the Hall of Fame, along with Ricky Steamboat. This is a loaded draft class, or Hall of Fame class. Got the Funks, the Fink, Coco Beware, the Von Erichs. You know, it's not the worst WrestleMania. It maybe top 10, bottom 10. Bottom 10 worse? Let me know. Got another WrestleMania 3-disc collector's edition. This is a very cool set. This is how WrestleMania DVDs should be. Look at this. Look at this thing that folds. It comes out of the top. Look at how cool this is. This is a very cool DVD set. You don't see this much. This is how a WrestleMania DVD set should be. I think the fans and collectors would pay the extra just to have the quality WrestleMania DVD set. But not the greatest WrestleMania, but a decent WrestleMania. But there are some stinkers on it with Bret Hart and McMahon. You know, Triple H and Sheamus wasn't the best. Jericho and Edge was decent. Batista and Cena, I really enjoyed. And then the Streak versus Career, Taker and Shawn. This might be one of the weaker Hall of Fame classes as well. There's a shot of the DVD cover, Blu-ray. Does come with a bonus 3rd disc on Blu-ray. Includes both Raw and SmackDown go-home shows. Like I said, the Hall of Fame a bit weaker this time. Ted DiBiase was the main. WrestleMania 27. Again, not the greatest of all time. Probably bottom 5 all time. Triple H and The Undertaker, definitely match of the night. One of my favorite matches. I always have, you know, my opinions of Triple H and Undertaker's matches, and I wasn't feeling it. Wasn't feeling it going in. And those two absolutely hook, line, and sinker the whole way through. Don't know what it was. Cena and The Miz honestly felt like a joke to me. The Rock with the guest host. This was a weird era. The Rock's return to wrestling. I don't know. He returned on Valentine's Day that year. But it's one of my favorite Hall of Fame ceremonies. This was in Atlanta, Georgia Dome. Yeah, you had Hacksaw Jim Duggan, Shawn Michaels, the Road Warriors, Abdullah, Bullet Bob Armstrong. Yeah, this also featured Jerry Lawler and Michael Cole. You had Rey Mysterio and Cody Rhodes, decent. 8-man tags, 6-woman tags, mixed. Orton and Punk was decent. Edge and Del Rio. But definitely not the greatest. WrestleMania 28, I think, is a hit and miss for a lot of people. Once in a lifetime, Rock and Cena. And then the end of an era, Hell in a Cell match, Triple H and The Undertaker. So Triple H would be the only man to wrestle Taker at 3 different WrestleManias. A very cool artwork. Look at Chioda. Yeah, Mike Chioda. Look at that face, man. He is in the zone. Look at that, man. Rock bottom to Cena. Like I said, definitely a mixed bag. But Sheamus and Bryan, Rock and Cena, the Cell match, Punk and Jericho. Yeah, Money in the Bank 2012. Yeah, Money in the Bank was only at WrestleMania until 26. And then it became its own pay-per-view in 2010. 2013 with WrestleMania 29. Very cool cover. I always loved this New York artwork, New York, New Jersey, whatever they want to call it. Very, very nice. You know, and for a Blu-ray to be like a digipack, it's even more cooler. Another very stacked Hall of Fame ceremony with Mick Foley, Trish, Booker, Backlund, Trump, Bruno. You know, definitely a who's who of wrestling. Again, featured the rematch, Rock, Cena. Triple H and Lesnar was a snooze fest. You had Undertaker and CM Punk. Definitely match of the night. And more Blu-ray exclusives. You know, big six-man tag with the Shield, Del Rio, and Swagger. WrestleMania 30. So yeah, WrestleMania 28, I do not have the Blu-ray. 27, no DVD. 29, no DVD. WrestleMania 30, the 30th anniversary. Very cool cover with Hogan, you know, who we had not seen in a few years at this point. He was in TNA. One of the greatest opening segments in WrestleMania history with Hogan, Rock, Austin, Daniel Bryan winning the big undisputed title, Lesnar ending the streak, Cesaro, big six-man with the Shield, tag titles with the Usos, Divas Championship Invitational, John Cena and Bray Wyatt, Daniel Bryan and Triple H, another one of my favorite matches. Absolutely stacked. Do have the Blu-ray here as well. Another stacked Hall of Fame class with Warrior, Paul Bearer, Lita, Jake the Snake, Razor Ramon, Mr. T and his mother. Absolutely stacked. You know, definitely go with the Blu-ray, guys. Some of these I don't have the Blu-ray, I just haven't found it. WrestleMania 31, or the first numberless WrestleMania. WrestleMania play button from Santa Clara, California. Absolutely epic cover featuring Sting's first match in WWE. Got Terminator, Triple H. This was a very cool show. Definitely top 5. And definitely features one of the greatest Hall of Fame classes. You got Sting there with DX. With Diesel, Larry, Arnold, Macho Man, Rikishi, Tatsumi Fujinami, and the Bushwhackers. Very, very cool. Of course, Lesnar and Reigns going at it for the first time. Taker and Bray Wyatt. Another match featuring the Usos, Lesnar and Reigns. I'm not sure why all these are backwards. Did you guys notice? Went 3, 2, 1. I know I put the Hall of Fame in first, but then it should be disc 1, disc 2. But anyways, decent WrestleMania. Top 5 for sure. We get into the WrestleMania 32. We have the Blu-ray Steelbook as well. Now, it's very high on a lot of collectors' lists to have those. Only the third WrestleMania, or second at this point. Second WrestleMania released on DVD. Featuring Roman Reigns and Triple H in the main event in Dallas, Texas. A pretty underwhelming WrestleMania. When you could say one of the only good matches was the Triple Threat Women's Championship. This would be the first, Charlotte would be the first WWE Women's Champion at this point in time, after they kind of dissolved the Divas title and reintroduced the Women's Championship. Roman Reigns would be the new WWE Champion. The Rock, in which is currently his last match against Eric Rowan. We had Austin appearing and stunning the New Day with Shawn Michaels and Mankind. Lesnar and Dean Ambrose was a letdown. Taker and Shane McMahon inside the cell. Again, a big letdown. A pretty cool Intercontinental title match. Ask Aaron Rift. And then, yeah, pretty cool Steelbook, honestly, which I keep a matte relic of the best in the world. That's right. So, yeah, Hall of Fame was pretty cool here. Godfather, Jacqueline, Freebirds, Big Boss Man, Snoop, and Sting. So, very cool show. Then we have the following year, WrestleMania 33, returning to the Citrus Bowl in Orlando. Another very cool Steelbook. Again, not the greatest WrestleMania. They had a very good stretch there from 98 till about 2006, 2007, 2008. And then, hit and miss year after year. WrestleMania became a pretty big spectacle, and these shows were becoming like 8 hours, ending past midnight at times. A pretty underwhelming show for the most part. Taker and Roman, big letdown. Lesnar and Goldberg was probably the match of the night. Triple H there versus Seth Rollins, very cool. And this should have been Taker's retirement, 100%. And this is the last WrestleMania to feature the Hall of Fame. Which includes Rock and Roll Express, Rick Rude, Beth Phoenix, Teddy Long, and Kurt Angle. Very, very cool. And the Steelbook. There goes our J card. Yeah, very cool to see Kurt Angle in the Hall of Fame. So yeah, Jericho and Owens, Shane McMahon and AJ Styles. Some decent matches to open the show. The ladder match with the Hardy Boys. I don't know what it was. The show just didn't connect. The main event, Taker and Roman, absolute letdown. WrestleMania 34 from New Orleans. This is one of my favorite WrestleManias of the more modern era. Either this, 31, or probably 30, 36, 37, 36 or 38. But yeah, at this point in time, I started going with the UK releases because they featured a fourth disc, which was the Takeover from the night before. So Takeover New Orleans, one of the greatest takeovers of all time, with Gargano and Ciampa. It's featured Roman and Lesnar once again at WrestleMania. And this was kind of the big lead-in to the Saudi Arabia deal. We had Ronda Rousey's debut versus Triple H and Stephanie. Taker and Cena. Even though it was short, it was still good. Daniel Bryan and Sami Zayn. Yeah, Naomi, Finn Balor. I think that's Triple H back there. Or Charlotte. Charlotte and Asuka. Fantastic match. WrestleMania 35 from 2019. The second WrestleMania to be held in, I believe New York, New Jersey. The other being WrestleMania 29 there. So yeah, this was the first and only so far to feature a women's main event. Well, I guess you could count 37 there with Sasha and Bianca, if you'd like. Well, they main evented one night, I guess. So yeah, this one I have the standard DVD, the UK DVD, and the Blu-ray. So yeah, pretty cool. So yeah, there was actually a misprint here which featured a digital bonus. That was not true. In fact, the Hall of Fame is nowhere to be included. The digital bonus was just the WrestleMania event itself. And yeah, the UK exclusive, of course, had the alternate cover and also included TakeOver New York. So pretty cool there. Now, take a look at this quick. Yeah, the women's main event was a big letdown in my books with Ronda Rousey, Charlotte, and Becky. Of course, this was the year of the man, Becky Lynch, winning both women's titles. They did not unify them, but she defended both. Unlike Roman Reigns, where it seems like they're kind of unified, but they're not. Here's our TakeOver New York disc. Very good event. You had Velveteen and Matt Riddle. Pete Dunne and Walter was just awesome. Johnny Gargano and Adam Cole, 2 out of 3 falls. Very good event. Very cool to have that. So the Blu-ray itself, it was pretty much bare bones. Not a fan of this at all. Yeah, you could see they also included that. Very disappointing. Actual disc art. So yeah, this also featured Kofi Mania. One of the best WWE title matches in some time. Kofi Kingston winning the WWE Championship. Also Roman Reigns and Drew McIntyre. I believe it was Rollins, Lashley, and Balor. No, it was actually Rollins and Lesnar for the Universal title. Triple H and Batista in a decent match. John Cena there making a rare appearance. The Doctor of Thugonomics. This was the first WrestleMania to not feature The Undertaker since WrestleMania 6. Unreal. Decent event, but I don't know, something just felt off. This event went past midnight here in the East Coast, and this was like an 8-hour event. AJ Styles and Randy Orton. You had Shane McMahon and The Miz. There was decent matches sprinkled out throughout the night, but the show was just way too long. Moving along to 2020 in the COVID Coliseum. The COVID era of WWE was mostly terrible. Some good stuff sprinkled in between here and there. But this is an era of WWE a lot of us are going to want to forget. Too big just for one night. They split up WrestleMania for the first time ever with 2 nights. I think it would be a lot easier for viewing purposes since there was no crowd involved. We had 2 cinematic style matches with the Boneyard match and the Firefly Funhouse. So here I got the UK exclusive big digipack. You got Drew McIntyre versus Lesnar for the WWE title. This was one of the only WrestleManias to feature 0 attendance. Yeah, I believe the only. Goldberg and Roman Goldberg and Strowman after Roman Reigns pulled out, took a leave of absence. One of the best matches Undertaker could have, pretty much, cementing his legacy, the greatest of all time. The Boneyard match was a classic. Firefly Funhouse, very cool match as well. And this match, or this set did not feature a bonus disc, so take what you will with this era, but to me, it was very hard to watch at times. Charlotte and Rhea Ripley. Charlotte actually chose her Royal Rumble opponent to be the NXT Women's Champion, Rhea Ripley. So yeah, no Hall of Fame with the Blu-ray or DVD set on WrestleMania 36. We do get a Kofi Kingston card. But yeah, this is going to be an event that a lot of us are going to want to forget. So yeah, Becky Lynch would retain, and then she would pretty much drop the title following Money in the Bank. So following WrestleMania 36, WWE did end up going to Raymond James Stadium in Tampa Bay. And I would say this WrestleMania exceeded all expectations. It had been a long year or so with no fans in attendance. And like I said, that's just an era a lot of us want to forget. So I do have the UK exclusive DVD set and Blu-ray. Again, this is a bare bones WrestleMania set. No insert, barely no artwork, no Topps trading card, no Hall of Fame, no disc art, barely. Not a fan of the way they do the sets nowadays. I think that's something I've made very clear. And even it says Topps trading card, which I did not get. But this was the big push for Roman Reigns. He returned following SummerSlam and would win the Universal Championship. And he hasn't lost it since. It's been going on 3 years now with Roman Reigns on top. Take a look at our 4-disc DVD set. Alternate covers. Decent enough. I'm not a real big fan of this cover, but really cool staging and set design here with the huge ship and whatnot. This was probably packed away from the year prior when they didn't get to use anything. We had Lashley and McIntyre open the show for the WWE Championship. Very good match. The show actually got postponed as they got rained out. Bad Bunny, making a statement. Daniel Bryan, Edge, and Roman Reigns in a hell of a main event with a double stack at the end. This is one of the rare WrestleManias where Brock Lesnar does not have a match in this era. Got Rhea Ripley and Asuka. I believe AJ Styles and Sheamus. Oh, that's actually Riddle there with Sheamus, which I believe was a part of the US title match. So this, like I said, this WrestleMania exceeded all expectations. Got the Tribal Chief there, Roman Reigns. So a lot of people forget, Jimmy Uso was out for a while during this time. And it was Jey Uso, I believe, which was putting on a hell of a performance, for his standards, which are very high. So we do get a bonus disc with this set, but it only features stuff from Raw and SmackDown, which is kind of disappointing. But they've had very rare NXT events in this era. You also had Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens, Big E and Apollo Crews. NXT title match, which was Finn Balor and Karrion Kross. So, a lot of guys during this era, and even to today, went back to NXT and kind of, revitalized their careers. Guys like Karrion Kross, he briefly got called up and went back to NXT. Finn Balor, AJ Styles had a few matches. Charlotte, Rhea Ripley, and even guys like Gargano, Ciampa, who briefly went up and back down. And that brings us to WrestleMania 38, which was this year's WrestleMania of 2022. Lesnar Reigns for their third WrestleMania match, their third in 7 years. And they feuded on and off for the WWE Universal titles. This would be the kind of the big blow-off. This was the big unification match for both championships. As of yet, they have not really gave us any clue as if they're going to completely unify them and, get rid of one. If they're going to break them up, I think a lot of people think they're going to split them back up. But, pretty bland discard, like I've always said. Spoiler back. This was Austin's big return to the ring, which was a hell of a moment, man. And a lot of people, including myself, thought it would never happen. But, man, it was a hell of a moment. Goosebumps, man. That's a goosebump moment. There's your exclusive artwork. I believe this is a 4-disc set. Oh, no, just a 3. Yeah. I believe this was a no holds barred or something match. Or it might have just been a standard match. But yeah, there's Stone Cold Steve Austin, who had a match against Kevin Owens. Very cool match. Roman Reigns and the Usos. Bianca and Becky. Pretty decent discard. We also had the return to Cody Rhodes as our slipcover falls. Cody Rhodes returning to WWE after starting AEW with the AEW boys and the Elite, Kenny Omega, Young Bucks. So Cody Rhodes and Seth Rollins, probably the feud of the year. Very cool shot of Edge. I believe had a match with AJ Styles. Yeah, Edge and Styles. A very good match. And this also featured The Undertaker going into the Hall of Fame. Long overdue. Was this the greatest WrestleMania of all time? Probably not. But it was a hell of a step forward from, the past couple years. And, some really big surprises and things like this. So there we have our WrestleMania DVD collection video. There will be a part 2 to this, which will feature non-pay-per-view DVDs. So let me know your thoughts, guys. We covered quite a bit of ground here. Over an hour long, so let me know your thoughts. Let me know what's your favorite WrestleMania DVD, VHS, Blu-ray. Which ones you have in your collection? Which ones would you like in your collection? What are your favorite WrestleManias to go back and watch, guys? As always, we'll talk to you later. Peace.